Hey, we're recording, and Susie, I'm so grateful for your time. I know you're busy. You have so many different initiatives. My favorite of your initiatives, of course, is GOGI. And I'm so grateful you'll make the time to talk to us about that. First of all, you are what is termed as Pacific Islander. Can you tell our audience? A lot of people don't know what is a Pacific Islander?
Yeah,
What makes that?
I'd
How
be
do you
happy to do
qualify
that.
to be that?
So Pacific Islander is a term that the government gave us.
Oh,
And so they put AAPIs together. So that's Asian American Pacific Islanders. But Pacific Islanders are made up of three groups of people: the Melanesians, which is our Black Polynesians, and Micronesians, and Polynesians. And most people know what a Polynesian is because of Hawaii, Tonga, Samoa, and and then the Micronesians are going to be the Marshallese, people from Yap, people from Guam, and then the Melanesians are going to be people from Fiji, the Solomon Islands, and together they have given us this name of Pacific Islander. So often I'll say I'm a Pacific Islander, but I'm also a Polynesian, but I'm also a Tongan, right?
right. Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It's quite confusing, but I wonder there must be a general theme among Pacific Islanders, a way of living or I don't know. They just, when I meet somebody from the Pacific Islands, they just seem to be warm, loving, family oriented, very generous with their time, very simple in the sweetest ways, just be good to me, let me be good to you kind of thing. Is that true of Pacific Islanders?
It is. I mean, that is our nature. I think I always say it's our DNA, that aloha spirit that we carry, or we call it mana, which is
Mana?
our ancestors, that we carry with us, our ancestors always, and are appreciative of our elders. And there are some standard things about Pacific Islanders that are common across all of the races that we just spoke about. But I want to say a big but is, by coming to America and coming outside of our country, we've learned some really bad habits, right? And I always say we came to these shores with skills that our ancestors gave us, but often people feel like they have to do away with those skills and those understandings and assimilate to the American culture. But it's not all gravy in the American culture. There's good and bad. And so I always promote take the good of every culture and leave the rest. And that's what I love about GOGI. And I think that's why GOGI really spoke to me, is because it is always looking at the positive, and it's very simple, right? They're very simple things.
Yeah, so for me, it seems like coming to the shores of America, I wish the Pacific Islanders would have been adamant about bringing the mana to America, to allowing all those virtues to be embedded in everyone on this soil. I do think the Pacific Islanders have so much to offer to the American public. And to your point, now you're here and everybody's thinking, well, we have to become American, and they're losing sight of the most precious aspects within their DNA. So
correct.
then
That's exactly what I say to people that like they're like, wow, we always feel really different when we come to your meetings. And I said, oh, that's our mana that you feel with us. And I said, and we don't corner that. You also have mana as well. And I think that we try to say, you can do this too. We're not the only ones. We don't corner that aloha or that mana, but there are some definite things that are Pacific Island traits. We're a collective group of people, and America is about being all you can be, singular, right? And Pacific Islanders, really, we come from village mentality where everybody has a job, nobody's left behind. If we have one piece of bread, everybody's going to get a bite, and we're going to laugh and sing and have a good time and be happy about it, right? And the fact that we're very God-fearing people also says that we have a lot of faith. We have faith in our higher power, and which means that We try to emulate as Christ taught. We're not always perfect, but I think that also helps in that spirit of mana, and that aloha spirit is, do unto others as you would have them do it to you. And there's a lot of pride in our culture in being humble and giving your last meal to somebody else and helping somebody else, which again, I think with the service portion of GOGI, why it spoke to me and why it would speak, I think, to a lot of immigrants and people that have been searching for the mana or the aloha they can find in GOGI. And that's what I think is beautiful about GOGI, that it really fits with that cultural understanding that we already have.
So what you did is you have all these people landing on the shores of America, bringing in their mana. They want to hold on to it. They aren't quite holding on to it because they want to they want to assimilate to our society. And then you say, hey, wait a second, the GOGI Life Tools help us live our DNA. The GOGI Life Tools help us live our mana. How does that work? And then what you did was you started the first ever GOGI weekly Zoom meeting, which wasn't restricted only to Pacific Islanders, but it was restricted to those people who wanted the mana of life.
Right.
So talk to me a little bit about how you got that started.
Well, I met Coach David New. He showed up at our men's group and I did not know him, but my husband knew him and knew that he had like maybe second or third time in prison coming out. And when I listened to him talk, I just was so impressed in how articulate he was. I could tell he could run a group. He took over the group and was facilitating. And, those are not skills that we are taught with. And so afterwards I said to him, I'm really impressed with you. I would never have guessed that you've been in prison because you have an amazing skill set. And he said, I'm a GOGI coach. And I said, what is that? And he started explaining to me what GOGI was. And he said he used to carry around this pink book in prison. And he said they used to have a pink book and people would make fun of people who carry around a pink book, but I didn't care. And I just saw his life. And because my husband had known him before, he said, wow, David has really changed his life around. And so I was so impressed. And so remember, I called you because I was so impressed. And I was like, okay, I need to do this in my community. Everybody needs these tools. Yes, we would definitely want to start a group and a community power up group. I felt like for two things. Not only are the GOGI tools for every single person out there, it is easy to understand. It is easy to try and use the tools. And the third thing was that I felt like people that were coming out of prison that had been using the GOGI tools, like Devita, may start to falter because they were not wrapped in that cocoon anymore of the GOGI life while they were in prison. And so I didn't want to see Devita fail at this and, wanted him to stay engaged, but I already, I know this game. I mean, I'm a felon myself, that if you don't stay on track, that it's very easy to slip away. And I just thought, GOGI has got to be something for them. And we can do this for the general public that are looking for very easy, understandable tools that really can make a difference in people's lives.
I love it so much. And it pains me to know that our time is up right now. I would love to say goodbye to our audience because we only have our 30 minutes and we are there. But I love talking about the mana of what you're bringing to these meetings, which are phenomenal. So on this next episode, we're just going to close off, say goodbye to our audience. We're going to log right back on. And I would like you to talk about how on earth did you start a meeting? How do you sustain it? It's growing, it's beautiful, and people, they weep, they laugh, they, virtually hug each other. I mean, this is a lifeline for a lot of people. I want to talk about that. So let's say aloha to our audience. We're going to take our mana to the next episode. Goodbye, everybody.